Good evening. We're at our next installment of the Tuesday Talks. And tonight we're going to talk about, are we ever allowed to lie? So in a study done in a book called The Day America Told the Truth, they're trying to ask about truth-telling. So they actually they did the survey anonymously to make sure that people would tell the truth about their truth-telling. And what they found, Jim Patterson and Peter King, was that most people answered that they admitted they in fact did lie regularly. Okay? And I guess they knew that because that's why they did the study anonymously. Right? Now, when people lie, why do they lie? They lie often for self-enhancement, right? Because we want to look good. We want people to think better of us. I'm spending the weekend in the Hamptons. We've casually dropped, when actually I'm staying at a motel in Hampton Bays. Smoker tells people, oh yeah, I'm trying to quit. I'm really working on it, and they've been doing that in the last 3 years. When they want people to know, yeah, I'm smoking, but really I'm trying to quit. So this is what we might call antisocial lying. Antisocial lying is lying that is for our own self-interest. Now, this actually isn't formal antisocial lying. Antisocial lying is for our interest, and it harms others. For instance, we say that our boss stole in order to get him fired so that I can be promoted to his position. Okay, that would be a pretty egregious case of it. So we're also going to look at pro-social lying. Pro-social lying is when we're not doing it for our own self-interest, and it's not harmful to others, but there are other motivations why we will lie, which are to help other people. We'll get to that. So the first question is, why is lying so bad? Is lying bad? Yes. I'm getting yes from everyone. Why? Okay, so I stretch the truth a little bit. Why is it bad? You're supposed to tell the truth. Why? Okay, the 9th commandment, do not lie. Very good. Okay, that's a reason not to lie. What else? What else can we think of in terms of why we would lie? Actually, the Talmud says that the seal of the Almighty, God's seal, is truth. So we should live according to that. That's another reason given. What else? Is this false vows the type of which you need to say kol nidre for? Might be. That's a possibility as well. We're told, the rabbis say, that the world stands on 3 things. One of them is emet. The world stands on truth. What does that mean? It means basically if you lie, you get into trouble. Okay, first of all, you got to keep track of all your lies and be consistent. Okay? And often we slip up and then, you're in big mess. Another reason is that when we lie, the world stands on 3 things. On truth, but lying is not, disrupts that. Another reason is that when you lie, I'll give you an example. In the 1967 war, the Egyptian generals were telling Nasser, we're winning, we're wiping the Israelis. Of course, their whole air force had been wiped out. The Israelis were rumbling down into the Sinai, but they kept this up for 2-3 days. As a result, the Jordanians figured, oh, let's jump in on the winning side. The Jordanians joined the war, attacked Israel. Israel kept telling the Jordanians, we have no beef with you. You stay in your place. We won't do anything. They attacked Israel and subsequently lost Yehuda and Shomron, commonly known as the West Bank, which today is a matter of big dispute. Their generals had told the Egyptians the truth. The Jordanians might not have jumped into the war. So, and worst of all, perhaps, is when you tell lies, you start telling lies to yourself. I spoke to a woman recently who broke up after almost getting engaged. And basically she said, Rabbi, the red flags were there. I just didn't want to face them. in a sense, she was lying to herself. She was just putting on the blinders, not facing it, because when we have to tell the truth, there are often consequences which are very uncomfortable, right? Either I can't invest my job, or something embarrassing that I don't want to admit, or in her case, relationships you'd have to break up from, and it would be emotionally difficult. So that is also why lying can be good, painful, and counterproductive. The rabbis say that sheker ein lo raglayim. Lies have no truth. Please. And let me show you what they mean. But truth has a foundation. If you look at the letters of truth, emet, and then the letters of lies, sheker. So emet, if you look at the letters, they have 2 legs, a base, 2 more legs. What do you see when you see sheker? The shin has 1 point. Well, the cursive shin would be like this, with 1 point. The kuf 1 point, and the resh 1 point. Sheker ein lo raglayim. Lies have no legs. It doesn't stand up. It topples over easily. Whereas the truth, in addition, is the first letter in the Aleph Beit, the middle letter in the Aleph Beit, and the last letter in the Aleph Beit. It spans all reality. It's solidly grounded. Sheker, the letters are mixed up. The kuf and shin and the resh are out of order. It's all jumbled, and it doesn't stand up. So that's what we have to say about truth and lying. The prophet Zechariah, if you look at the first text in your sheet, the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. We're told as a Jew to strive not to lie. Now, in the book of Exodus as well, it tells us, text number 2, distance yourself from a false matter. Davar sheker tircha. Now, that is different than, it's not the 9th commandment of do not lie. Why that is, we'll get to in a minute. But what is this saying? What does this imply? Distance yourself from falsehood. Is that stronger or weaker than do not lie? Why does it say it in that convoluted way? Why doesn't it just come out and say don't lie? So it might imply don't be even involved in something that is called avak, like even the dust of lying, even something that borders on lying. We'll see what examples of those are. Or on the other hand, it might mean something else. It might mean what? What could it mean? It could mean try and stay away from it. In other words, it's not an absolute statement. It might just be kind of like, well, try and stay away. So we'll have to see. Either possibility, but it's very interesting the way it's formulated. That it doesn't just say do not lie. Okay. So what we're going to see is, first of all, our second understanding of distance yourself from falsehood is not an absolute statement, which means that there are going to be situations where I might consider lying. Okay? Susan and Joan just finished a piano recital in front of 200 people. During Susan's recital, she made a mistake, and she felt like Joan had a lot more applause than she did. She asked Joan, she said, when I made a mistake, did the crowd notice? What do you say to her? Oh yeah, you really messed up. Right? It's the truth. Gotta tell the truth. Or do I not? You ever be in a situation where you have to break up with someone and they say, well, why are you breaking up with me? What happened? I thought you loved me. And you don't want to tell them that, you're not really an expressive person, or you're not stable, or you're not reliable. You don't really want to say that to their face, right? So, well, I'm not at that place, or I don't feel it anymore, right? You kind of couch it a little, okay? So, this is the question. Are we allowed to lie to not make someone feel not hurt someone's feelings. So the Talmud looks at the book of Genesis, an interesting story, probably familiar with the story. The angel comes to Sarah and tells her, you're going to have a child. She's in her older age, and what does she do? She laughs. Now, what is that laugh? Is that a laugh of joy or disbelief? Looks like a laugh of disbelief. She says to God, she says, how can I have a child? I'm past the age of having children. Someone just told me about a family friend with a child at the age of 67. But Sarah said, I'm past the age of having children, and my husband's old. How's this going to happen, God? And God goes to Abraham and says, Abraham, why did Sarah laugh like this? What's going on here? And say that she was too old.